That's what we get. JD Talking Sports. It just does its own thing, and it just says, "Hey, we'll do stuff. We won't do stuff. We'll end the thing. We won't." But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Yeah. So Georgia extends a streak of number one rankings to 19 straight weeks, third best in the history of the Yankees. In the rankings, I said Yankees in the rankings. You see, you know what? I had too much information in my head, and I was like, you know what? Get out of my head, do a quick podcast, and go from there. So that's what I decided to do today. I said, let's do the podcast. So Georgia, 19 straight weeks, third best in history. Alabama moved back in the top 10. Georgia's number one streak, which started October 9, 2022. Miami's 21 weeks from 2001 2002. And South USC, 33 in a row. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes. Tar Heels dropped from 10 to 17. They became just the second top 10 team to lose to an unranked team this season. The other was number 9, Clemson, in week 1 at Duke. That, to me, okay. You lose to Duke, that's what you don't lose to UVA that only beat William and Mary. Clemson has not been ranked since the second week of the season. Yeah, why should they get any? They're done. It's just the fourth time in the last 197 polls that Clemson has been totally shut out, which is good. The number of major upsets to top 25 teams overall in this season were minimal. The current top 25 has lost a total of 23 games. Of those losses, 19 have been to other teams that currently are ranked. That's good. Iowa out of the top 25, replaced by James Madison. The Dukes made a brief appearance last year before going on a 3-game losing streak. So they can't go to a bowl game. James Madison gives the Sun Belt a ranked team for the first time this season, and also 3 non-Power 5 conference teams in the poll. You got Air Force of Mountain West and Tulane of the American Athletic Conference. Air Force, highest ranked since number 18 in 2002. So 6 SEC teams, 6 Pac-12, 4 ACC, 3 Big 10, 2 Big 12s. Yeah, so SEC has 1, 9, 12, 15, 16, 21. Pac-12 has 5, 8, 11, 13, 23, 24. ACC has 4, 17, 18, 20. And the Big 10 has 2, 3, and 10. And the Big 12 has 6 and 7. And I'll tell you, they try to do a double pass at the end, UCF against Oklahoma. That would have been a bad loss. And Texas, as I said, Houston got a bad spot, lost that game to Texas, which was Texas up 21-0. They barely held on. This week we have number 8 Oregon and number 13 Utah, 5th straight meeting dating back to 2018 with both teams ranked. They split the last 4, and then you got number 20 Duke and number 18 Louisville. They've only played 3 times in football. This will be the first game where both teams are ranked. Yeah, and I love this. Someone wrote, I don't know what it is about Mac Brown's UNC teams. No matter how well the Tar Heels start, they always lay an egg at some point, like when they lost to 4-6 Georgia Tech last year. They have the All-Star Heisman. They have Drake May, the undefeated record, and a chance to make a case as a dark horse college football playoff. And poof, there it is. They could still compete for an ACC title. This from Grace Rayner, college football writer, if they went out, but it's hard to see a path for much else in terms of national landscape. Yeah, it was terrible. Just terrible. Time possession, which something doesn't mean, it just, it means they almost had 15 minutes of time possession over them. Ran a season high 54 times for 228, 4.2 yards. Yeah. Musket, the quarterback, threw nice day passing, but also at 66 on the ground. They had 138 yards on the ground second half. UNC outgained them 490 to 436. But 4-15 on 3rd and 4th down conversions. Yeah, J.J. Jones had touchdown pass and all 5 bullshit holding penalty. But he also was 24-48, and an interception at the end. And, right now they're saying who's going to win the Heisman because Caleb Williams isn't winning because it's about, he lost. I guess if he wins out, Drake May, we'll see what happens. But, God, it just pisses me off. Yeah, Mac Brown, since he got hired in 2019, 36-23. Ryan Day is 48-6, but loses to Michigan, which all that matters. Chris Klieman for Kansas State is 35-22, which is, that means something. Mac Brown, no. Mike Locksley is 25-25 at Maryland, and Neil Brown's 26-28 at West Virginia. Tony Elliott said, since November 13th last year, the program has believed we've been close. Tonight was the night we were going to stare that line in the face. They did. And Tez Walker had 8 for 70, 8 for 87 in the first half. I was trying to see what he did. And then in the second, so then in the second half, 11 for $146 and a touchdown. But how about that? 3 games so far. Tez Walker, 23 for 321, 4 touchdowns. Tez Walker's he can play, man. He can play awesome. Yeah, Michigan State with the trivia question, but I still can't believe they scored with 8 seconds left in the game. Yeah. I mean, listen, they got the job done. 6 incompletions. What was that stat I had? 6 incompletions, 6 touchdowns. Yeah, Michigan State, I mean, was talk about ineptitude. And there was a lot of it. That's what I wanted to see. Michigan State, Michigan football. It was not pretty. I don't want ice hockey. I want football, baby. Oh, and I looked up too that SUNY Marshall lost to Brockport. SUNY Brockport 49-0. So I said something to quarterback Steve Ferrerick. I said, dude, I know you went. It was a tough game and all that stuff. And I was like, but I said, hey, you need to talk. I'm here for you. I mean, he's probably like, why is this guy sending me something? But I did. I felt for him. I felt bad, man. I felt bad for his. So Michigan State had 182 total yards, 133 passing, 49 rushing. Whew. Yeah. 2 interceptions. God, I gained 477 and 182. That was an ass kicking. Yeah, Quinn Ewers has a grade 2 AC joint sprain in his right throwing shoulder. Yeah, he's going to be out a while. And Malik Murphy will be starting, or Arch Manning. I guess we'll see what happens there. K-State, last week, Avery Johnson rushed for 5 touchdowns. He pulled on Will Howard. Well, he switched them every other drive between Will Howard and Avery Johnson, Chris Kleiman, and they beat TCU 41-3. They have a light schedule, but then they have one big game November 4th in Austin, which could be 2 weeks, which means Quinn Ewers is probably not playing. Not playing. We'll see. The Vols had 1 touchdown and 4 red zone trips. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know. Alabama has victory cigars. I was like, all right. Victory cigars it is. I was like, wow, victory cigars. And it was all over the stadium. I never saw that before. And Lanker says, even if they win, won't help them in rankings. Well, they did. They're in the top 10. He goes, they have to beat teams they're supposed to beat by a lot to make a move up. They're probably ranked right where they should be. Very good team, but not great, not upper echelon. I said, he said, no studs in the team. I said, yeah, been spoiled for many. You've definitely been spoiled. He said, they've always had several high-end guys every year. He said, Jalen Milroe, not a great quarterback. I said, well, he's fast. He said, interested to see recruiting class for next year no longer feel like they're the go-to destination. But I said, they do get guys drafted. And he'd like him. He said, yes, Milroe is fast, but he wants a quarterback to throw first, run later, and no real dominant wide receivers, which is true, which is they've always had great wide receivers at the school. And he feels like the offensive line is porous. But I was like, you know what? I hear you. I don't think they're as good a team, but I also feel the SEC is not as strong as it has been in the past. I feel that all the conferences, there's no super team this year. And we're really going to see Michigan really hasn't played anybody. And now they're going to go to play Penn State. They should destroy Penn State, you would think. And you don't know. You don't know what. And in a rivalry game against Ohio State, you never know when that game what could happen. Like even when Auburn has been terrible, they've beaten Alabama. So we'll see what happens. I definitely think it's Marvin Harrison as the offense, and McCord is a okay quarterback, but he's not the level of what they had in the past. Someone actually had a picture I thought was kind of funny that C.J. Stroud was wearing the number of times he beat Michigan 0 on his the O, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, I do agree with you. Bama is not the same team, but they are winning. I mean, they blew out Tennessee the second half. It's just a different team. They don't have superstars. I think he has a solid team, but not a great team. I don't think they could. I mean, I guess they can meet Georgia and have a shot at the college football playoff. But yeah, I think there's a lot of parity this year, a ton of parity. And I guess we're going to see what happens going forward. Wisconsin, rallied from a deficit to beat Illinois, and now they're back in first place in the Big Ten West, 5-2, 3-1. Oh, oh, yeah, I didn't tell you, Josh. Apologize because yeah, man. Yeah, why are you on here, dude? Usually you're on YouTube. Yeah, I couldn't sleep, so I decided to do a quick podcast. I'm doing one later today with Mr. Met from Mr. Met later today, but I said, I got too much information in my head. Yeah, and Iowa's terrible. They're averaging 19.5 points per game. They would need to jump to 33.8 per game to keep his job, but I do love the uniforms. Yes, PJ Fleck he's a little crazy in the sidelines, but I guess you would call that. And they were throwing shit in the field. And it's interesting at Iowa's home field at Kinnick Stadium. They're very close to the fans are very close to the players. Yeah, yeah. And YouTube cut me off, dude. So that's interesting you said that because I was doing on YouTube, and I'm doing a second one because the first one cut me off. You got to go to my. I don't know if you have YouTube, TikTok, but if you do, go to JD Talkin Sports. And I'm basically going viral with one of my videos. I'm trying to see 140,000 on one of my things. On a 6-second clip, I'm over 140,000 views. So that's my claim to fame today. Yeah, I talked about Luke DeCock. Talked about 54-14 win North Carolina Wake Forest. Ryan Switzer was called back for. That's what happened. Yeah, an invalid signal as defined by the rule book is any waving signal that doesn't meet the requirements of a fair catch signal, and that's what Cooper DeJean was doing for Iowa, and that was the end of that. So, yeah, it was an ugly game. What did Iowa had 12 yards of offense in the second half, -2 in the third quarter? Yeah, it's 12. How do you even win a game? 12 yards of offense in the second half. I mean, he has no offense. It's sad. -2 in the third quarter, 12 yards of offense. It's just crazy. I mean, Minnesota's quarterback, Ethan Kaliakaminis, was 10 for 25 for a buck 26. So Minnesota hosts Michigan State on Saturday, and Iowa's a Northwestern, which means they should win both of them. Yeah, there you go. You're on YouTube, my friend. You're there. You're there. Arkansas lost at home to Mississippi State. Fan was doing the thumbs down, 7-3, and fans left. They're down 7-3. 2 years ago, Sam Pittman was a toast to the SEC, 20-game conference losing streak, went 9-4, Outback Bowl win, 7-6 last year. This year, they are 2-6, 0-5 in the SEC. Came in ranked 114th the FBS, 5 yards per play. Yeah, their quarterback KJ Jefferson, who was having I've seen him play great, 19-31 for 97 yards and a pick. And they let go of their offensive coordinator, Dan Enos, the former Alabama coach, after 8 games. So Enos, Steve Berkowitz is the guy who has all the, like what they're getting in pays and bonuses and all that stuff. He's due a buyout of $2.8 million. He was making $1.1 million this year, $1.175 next year. Oh my God. I mean, $2.8 million buyout. Former Bama quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator Daniels is done. Kevin Guyton, receivers coach, will be the interim OC. They're dead last in SEC in offense and 121st in college football playoff. Hey, Lex has joined us. How you doing, Lex? I saw something with bread yesterday on your stories, and I was like, oh, what's that? But I didn't want to get too crazy. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to ask her. She's going to be like, he's stalking me. And I'm like, no. Lex, it's just checking. This is what I do. I survey the situation. Yeah, I've been up almost as long as you have today. Yeah, Penn State. Ugh. So Marvin Harrison had a career high 11 catches for a $162 and a touchdown. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that and no top 25 team has gone 0 for 12 or worse in the last 5 years. Well, they started 0 for 13? 1 year after Ohio State gave up 118 combined points to Penn State, Michigan, and Georgia, they gave up just 26 in their 2 ranked games this year. So, hey, playing a little better. And their defense is much better this year, but we'll see what happens. And how about this? Penn State 3-16 against AP top 10 teams under James Franklin. They haven't beaten a top 10 team on the road since 2008 at Ohio State. Yeah, they'll never win a national championship under James Franklin. Yeah. And Marvin Harrison says, we kind of have a faceless opponent mindset. Doesn't matter if the Denver Broncos come out there and step on the field. I think we're going to worry about ourselves. So could they beat the Broncos? Nah. I mean, you're not beating an NFL team, but congrats. And then he'll put the Marvin Harrison has now topped 100 receiving yards in 5 of the Dump's last 6 games, 12th of his career. He's now surpassed Chris Olave, second most, only behind David Boston, who had 14. Yeah. Yeah, I just think best chance, that was the best chance to beat the Dump, and they didn't get it done. Yeah, and just bad. Just bad. This guy, Clemson Addict, put Penn State is going to lose to Ohio State and Michigan, finish another season where they don't play another ranked team. They win their bowl game and get hyped up, be who they, get hyped up, and they rinse and repeat every year. Yeah, I kind of feel that that's what's happened the last couple of years. They lose the games that lose to Michigan, lose to Ohio State, win the bowl game like they did last year. What, they win the Rose Bowl last year? Got everybody pumped up, and then poof, yeah, they blew out Utah last year, and then get everybody ready for the season, and then can't beat certain teams at all. I hear you. Yeah, that's what I told Yankee recaps last night. I said my real stuff I post gets nothing. Some clip goes 140,000, crazy. And did you see Grayson McCall took a huge hit? They took him off on a they took him off on carted him off the field. Thank God it's only concussion. So Coastal beat Arkansas State 27-17. But these guys get hit, man. I mean, AJ Brown took one too under his chin. I mean, these guys hit. And what I see for Denver, Denver's and he keeps doing it, man. That's a scary thing too. He keeps hitting guys. What did I see? Who got that wasn't him. Yeah, Rams lost, but Commanders. Kareem Jackson did a hit yesterday where he just rocked helmet to helmet on Luke Musgrave in the second half. They said that that's the four times this season for similar offenses. I would think they're going to suspend him a couple games. I mean, that the helmet to helmet shit, especially, I could see slowing it down, but when you're going in like that and you're going for the helmet to helmet hit, nothing good's going to come out of it. Nothing good's going to come out of that. And you're just like, dude, that's not good for anyone. Oh, my mom asked. Oh, and also Grayson McCall became the 146th quarterback to reach 10,000 career passing yards. He had 244, 2 touchdowns, and rushed for 81. So my mom asked me about volunteers, why they were in orange. The most common reason why is in 1889, the very first field day at the university, the president of the school's athletic association, Charles Moore, chose the colors of the daisy that was growing in abundance on campus. That's why the Vols wear orange. Ohio U became bowl eligible. 6-2 beat Western Michigan. Tim Alvin does not get bowl bonus unless Bobcats win a bowl game. Okay, well, that happens. So now Oklahoma's 7-0. They went 6-7 last year. Congrats to them. And the newcomers, UCF lost. Cincinnati got within 3 of Baylor, lost. Houston lost to Texas. BYU did beat Texas Tech. All 3 of these schools were among the top group of 5 programs last 6 years, but it looks like they're going to have to build up those Power 5 rosters to compete in the Big 12 going forward. But, yeah, Oklahoma got the win. Jesse Palmer shouting out his former college roommate and current Bronco scout Nick Shirali during the Auburn Ole Miss broadcast was best thing that happened on this college football Saturday. Nick is one of the best. Thank you, Jim Nagy, for that. Yeah. I love what Kyle Winningham said about his quarterback. He said, USC's got a Heisman Trophy winner quarterback, so they're going to make some things. But we've got ourselves a pig farmer quarterback, so we're proud of that guy too. I said, all right, good for you, dude. And USC didn't have any players talk except Lincoln Riley after the game. That happens. I mean, I'm like, it happens more often than you think. Cameron Rising will not play this season. And Barstool Sports said, this is from Treetop. I love this. Caleb Williams owns exactly 0% of the University of Utah, which I love. I mean, I'm tired of hearing about Caleb Williams, the greatest quarterback ever. And also, he's 4-7 against ranked teams out of playoff contention. Yeah. Recent 2-game stretch, he completed 66% of his passes, 455 passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He had a fumble, kind of like he did at Dak Prescott, where he lost the ball. I thought that was hilarious to watch. I'm just not a fan of Lincoln Riley. I used to like watching USC, but I'm tired. I don't like Lincoln Riley, and I think Caleb Williams. Yes, he won the Heisman last year. He had a great season. He's a very good quarterback, but we'll see what happens in the pros. But USC guys usually don't get it done. Quarterbacks. Well, Carson Palmer, if he hadn't hurt his knee, I think they would have won a Super Bowl, the Bengals, that year. But Mark Sanchez, Matt Barkley. Yeah, there's a lot of them lately that you're just like, yeesh. I guess we're going to see if Caleb Williams can step it up now. And the guy who's on Fox, who I thought was going to be a very good pro. He came back for the last year. Yeah, USC quarterbacks. Matt Leinart. That's another. Yeah, I mean, Matt Leinart did not have a great pro career. And Kyle Winningham, $275,000 bonus for the 6th win of the season. $290,000 in bonuses. I said Mormon Mania. And Sione Vaki, now he was a linebacker. Now he's playing running back. 4 catches for 113 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 carries for 40 yards. 105 of those yards came after the catch. Thank you, Bruce Feldman. 602, 207, 66 on Bruce Feldman's freak list he has on The Athletic. Benches 400, vertical jumps 39 inches. I mean, he's amazing. And they think Cam Rising and tight end Brant Kuith can both come back next season as medical redshirts. I guess we'll see if that happens. Christian Dremel for Rutgers always wanted to join the program as a walk-on in 2019. 2021, he was placed on scholarship. He leads the team in receptions and receiving touchdowns. And Shiano got $75,000 for bowl eligibility. Best start in conference play since joining the Big Ten. Yeah. Barry Odom got $50,000. They're bowl eligible. Colorado, first time. They beat Colorado State 25-23. First bowl appearance in 10 years. 6-1 start, best since '84 when Randall Cunningham was starting. That year they went 11-2, won the California Bowl 30-13 over Toledo. Yeah, I talked about Zach Larrier would be out for a while with a knee injury. Nah. Only started, played. They're 7-0. They have a shot at the Group of 5 New Year's Six bowl berth. And they last played in one of those bowls in this. They went Air Force played in the 71 Sugar Bowl where they lost 34-13 to Tennessee. Yeah, how about that? And Toledo 7-1, 4-0 in the MAC. They beat Miami of Ohio 21-17. Jason Candle's a guy who can be coaching someone else next year. 16-6 since the start of last season. Good. And these are the undefeated teams left in college football. Air Force, Florida State, Georgia, James Madison, Liberty, Michigan, the Dump, Oklahoma, and Washington. And Nevada beat San Diego State. There's only one winless team, Sam Houston. And QBR, J.J. McCarthy leads the country for this past week and for a total QBR this past week and for the season. Congrats to him. And the Giants, still the worst plus minus in the NFL, minus 12. They've not scored by 12.7 points, 18 at home. But last year, they had a negative plus minus 1.6 points, but still made the playoffs. Yeah, and Jonathan Allen on the Commanders said that they whooped our asses, plain and simple. I think it's just a lack of focus on our part, a lack of attention to detail, not a fast in creating holes that are too big for us to overcome in the second half. Fuck yes, they said, was it getting frustrating? Fuck yes, it does. I'm fucking tired of this shit. I'm fucking tired of this bullshit. It's been 7 fucking years of the same shit. I'm tired of this shit. And he's on a 4-year contract extension. So he's got 2 more years of this. So, dude, I guess you're going to have to deal with it. And, they said Dotson at the end of the game dropped a touchdown pass. Well, Sam Howell was running for his life through on the run through, and it was behind Dotson, who almost made an incredible catch to get a first down and a touchdown that would have kept the drive going. But I kind of felt that, sometimes we say that they drop passes behind trying to catch a ball. It's not an easy thing to do. That even got the ball off Howell. I mean, crazy, right? I mean, yeah. Rams lost the Steelers. Yeah, Pickett, I thought that was pick six I saw that Jalen Hurts pick six. Now, Dolphins 5-2. Their 5 wins came against teams that are 8-25, 0-2 against winning teams. Hurts threw for 279, 2 touchdowns, ran for 1 on the push the brotherly shove for 4 yesterday, and 2 for 2 in their own side of the field. AJ Brown 10 for 137, a touchdown. Third player 5 straight games with 125 plus yards with Megatron Calvin Johnson. I mean, last 5 weeks, 9 for 131, 9 for 175, 2 touchdowns, 6 for $127, 7 for 131, and 10 for 137. Only him and Tyreek Hill have 800 plus yards receiving this year. Only him and Calvin Johnson. Yeah, the greatest show on grass, 10 points. Thank you, Jeff Kerr. Darius Slay ended the Eagles' 3-game streak without a turnover. First takeaway since week 3, second longest streak for franchise since 1940. Jalen Hurts, hey, he's going to play hurt. That's the way he does. He does the thing. He did do a pick six, 10 turnovers on the season, second highest behind Desmond Ridder. And he's thrown an interception a career high 3 straight games, but they're 6-1. Kelly Green uniforms are awesome. And I think that should be their uniforms. 30-12, Raiders lost to the Bears. Deontay Foreman had 120 total yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyson Bagent, 21-29, and 162, a touchdown out of Shepherd University. Brian Hoyer, 17-32, a $129, 2 interceptions, a pick six. Then O'Connell came in, went 10 for 13, 75 yards, a touchdown interception. And Bagent said, don't ever let anybody's opinion stop you from chasing what you want, which I totally agree with. Josh McDaniel has to be one of the worst fourth down decision makers in the NFL. This is Jack Brentnall said. Kicking a field goal in the fourth quarter on 4th and goal to go down 15 points is certainly a choice. I agree. It's only even with that's a 2-score game. I mean, come on. Oh, horse shit on that front. I mean, yeah, Josh McDaniel needs to go. Bye-bye. Adios. That's what I say on that front. Jesus, I can talk, right? I talk way too much. That's the way the cookie crumbles with me. Worst passer rating for Raiders starting quarterback last 15 years. Brian Hoyer was 37.1 today. 106 quarterbacks won to start more recently than Brian Hoyer. Now, there were some positives per Josh Dubow. Tyree Wilson had first career sack on a Hail Mary. Zamir White tied career high scrimmage yards with 28, and Hunter Renfrow matched season high with catches with 2. You could tell that's like the Bad News Bears and we actually had 5 foul tips. Yeah, that's when you know your team sucks, when that's what you're reaching for. And Jamar Gibbs had his first career touchdown. They said he should have kept the ball. They were down 35-0 at that point. Yeah, that was ugly. Packers scoreless first quarter. They scored 13 first quarter points all season. Only first quarter TD came in week 1. Thank you, Matt Schneidman, for that one. DJ Humphries, you see that with the Cardinals, the offensive tackle? He got into it. Josh Dobbs threw interception, but Seahawks linebacker Boye Mafe made contact with Dobbs head on the pass rush during a roughing the passer penalty, led to a scuffle, and Brooks shoved Humphries in the face mask. So Humphries went to go like at him and smacked the ref, even inadvertent. He hit the ref on the top of the head, and that leads to ejection, where Brooks made contact with the official, but his arm was shoved into the official, so that's not. Guy, the ref happens to be in the middle. It's not on purpose, and I feel like there has to be a thing where if a ref gets hit, and that you don't have to get ejected. I'm like, come on, dude, really? Yeah, the Cards had 25 yards in the first quarter on 15 plays. Seahawks had 121, but at least they had over 200 yards the rest of the game, but they lost. What was the final score of that game? Was it 24 Cards? Yeah, and they said they might keep Kyler Murray on the bench because if he gets injured, they're on the hook for almost for $92 million. $92 million. So I'm like, oh, maybe they'll. Yeah, they lost 2010. Yeah, they're 1-6. Seahawks 4-2. All right. Yeah, it's $56 million coming, $92 million that are protected by the injury guarantee clause, so they might sit him out, but I don't think that's going to happen. Marquise Hollywood Brown has generated interest. He's been pretty good this year. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. We'll see what happens there. Pats beat the wow, unbelievable with 12 seconds left. Yeah, Mac Jones, I think he had one incompletion in the second half. 25 of 32, 72, 2 touchdowns. Game-winning drive. Yeah, touchdown. Less than 15 seconds left. 12 seconds left in the game. Yeah, Mac Jones. Ugly. Yeah, Brock Purdy without Deebo Samuel on the field, not as good. But we're going to see what happens. And if Trent Williams isn't that's a lineman for him, Minnesota, hey, you know what? Anything's possible, right? And I love 51-yard field goal by Jersey Boy. Jersey Boy gets the game-winning field goal. Younghoe Koo with a 51-yarder, 16-13. Baker Mayfield, Desmond Ridder had a touchdown and 3 fumbles. Psh. And Bijan Robinson didn't play. They said he wasn't feeling good. He got his first touch on the game-winning drive. And the defense, though, the Falcons' defense leads the league in fewest rushing touchdowns allowed with 1, 4th consecutive week without giving up a rushing touchdown. Good for them. They're 4-3. Bucks fell to 3-3. And NFL's threatened to hand out significant punishments to any player or teams involved in fights before or during games. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yes, I'm totally okay with that. Yeah, so Scherzer's going to go as Christian Javier, and it's going to be Merrill Kelly, who said that the crowd's louder in Arizona than in Philly, against Aaron Nola. It's not Aaron Nola. Isn't it Aaron Nola? Jesus Christ, guys. Can you it's not Aaron Nola. They wrote Aaron Nolan. God, they make a lot of mistakes. I'm like, good God. And now, so the Padres are giving Bob Melvin permission to speak to the Giants about their coaching position. And Nick Hundley was going to interview. He's the Rangers special assistant, but he said he's happy with Texas, best for his family this time. All right. And then I got into the thing with Josh about A-Rod getting his number retired. I said he wants his number retired. Broccoli Rob and Lenker say hell no. I said hell no. He goes, why not? I go, you're 40. He goes, he brought our last chip. I go, they would have went without him. He goes, nah. I go, yep. He said, respectfully disagree. I go, lie, cheater. He said, plenty of cheaters. I said, yes. He said, David Ortiz, but he's not in trouble for it. It's all a joke, he said. I said, yep. Ortiz was never proven. The Mitchell report, but he was on the Mitchell report, but never proven that he did it. Ortiz didn't get in trouble and will be in the Hall of Fame. If that's the case, so should every single user that got caught go to the Hall of Fame. I said, okay. He goes, you disagree? I go, nope. I mean, I think guys, if everybody was doing it during the same time, it was a level playing field, and the guys that weren't, they complained about it. But I think it was quite prevalent in the league. And, McGuire, Sosa, Bonds. Yeah. Crazy, right? This ALCS is the second best of 7 series in postseason history, where the road team has won each of the 6 games. Washington, that was all 7. And Houston had home field advantage back then too. Game 7. And Nathan Eovaldi was laughing when Jonah Heim got hit in the nuts. Yep. 140K there, my man. Yankee recaps. 140K. Crazy. Yes. But I watch UCF. Usman, I'll tell you, he fought a hell of a fight against Chimaev. Hell of a fight. And then Johnny Walker fought that guy, Ankalaev. And Dana White blamed it on the doctor asked where he was. He got kicked and got a knee to the head. And he goes, he's in the desert. He said, which wasn't wrong. He thought the doctor didn't handle it. And Ankalaev lost. His last fight was a draw against Jan Blachowicz. So this is a guy who had his last 2 no contest and then a draw his last 2 fights. Can't get a good deal. But I mean, Johnny Walker wanted to fight again. Now he also wasn't. There was a language barrier too, but kind of crazy. Oh, Michigan has joined us. What time is she up? She's up. Why is she up so early? Michigan, why are you up so early? I'm up because I can't sleep. But I saw that. Yeah, season starts tomorrow. Nuggets will host the Lakers, TNT, and Suns visits the Warriors. And I saw this. I said, why do I care? NBA 2K will reward players with a 2K ratings chain in real life for the rise of play during the season. Fans will get to decide which player deserves the chain. So you tell me players that make 30, 40, $50 million a season are going to get a chain decided by the fans? Why not let one of the fans get the chain instead of one of the players needs another chain? Oh, and Steven Adams will undergo season-ending surgery on his right posterior cruciate ligament after non-operative rehabilitation did not resolve ongoing knee instability. That sucks. And the only Jewish player in basketball right now, Denny Avdia, signs a 4-year, $55 million extension with the Wizards, 9.6 rebounds, 3 assists. But Yossi Goslin said getting what next year's non-taxpayer mid-level exception is currently projected at. So they just went ahead of the curve. And they'll have at least $22 million in cap space for next year. Could go as high as $30 million. And I saw that this Mackenzie McBacco, who freshman 5-star, who played at Roselle Catholic High School in Jersey, got in trouble. Wouldn't leave a Taco Bell at night. Tried to drive away at one point. Put the car back. I don't know what happened. It sounds like he late at night, nothing good happens. 3:16 in the morning, I would say nothing good happens after 1 o'clock, and shit happens. Yes, a lot of weird football. Josh, a lot of weird football yesterday. Flyers, the first team with 3 shorthanded goals in a regular season game since the Flames back in 2018. Most of the Stars 5-4. Their 3-1-1 Stars are 3-0-1. Elias Peterson, nice going. Became the first Canucks player to post at least 8 assists in the team's first 5 games of the season since Tony Tanti in 1987-88. And the new franchise leader games played for the Kings is Anze Kopitar, who I probably bet Michigan gave me the name to say it right, 1,297 games. And his son announce the lineup before the game. And the Hartford Wolfpack win their 1,000th AHL game over the weekend, 5-1 over the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, 19 to accomplish that. Thank you, Stat Boy Steven. And the whole pride thing, you can't say gay in the NHL anymore. Well, Arizona Coyotes defenseman Travis Dermott, Saturday evening, he defied the NHL's ban on using pride tape when he wrapped the top of his stick with rainbow-colored tape during the team's 2-1 win over the Ducks. They'll review it in due course. I said, hey, man, you know what? I'm glad that he kind of said what he did and stood up for what he believed in. I was like, good for you, dude. And Gotham got their first ever NWSL playoff win. They're going to the semifinals. Congrats to them. And Charlotte beat Inter Miami in Messi's last game of the season. So Charlotte's in. Miami's out of the playoffs. And what I see that Montreal was knocked out on a late Red Bulls penalty against Nashville. So the Red Bulls won 1-0, leapfrog Montreal, sending them to the number 8 in the Eastern Conference on tiebreakers. They went from being out of the playoffs to hosting a postseason game with a single kick. But who is FC Gotham is playing? I want to see the NWSL playoffs. We have... Yes, they beat the Courage 2-0, so they will play the Portland Thorns next Sunday at 7, and then the Wave will play the Reign at 9:30, and the final is November 11th. So did I miss anything else today? God, I can talk, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was live. All right, let's get to some trivia questions. All right. Okay, last show's trivia question was, love when it does this for me. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, Raheem Mostert scored 3 touchdowns last Sunday against the Panthers. 11. Only 4 of the players who scored more through the team's first 6 games. Who scored the most touchdowns through in the first 6 games on an NFL season? Jim Brown in 1958 had 15. And second most in the first 6 games was Sean Alexander 2005 with Seattle, and Emerson Boozer with the Jets in 67, and Abner Hayes, I don't know who he played for, in 62. Who did Abner Hayes play for? I don't want to know who Abner Hayes played for. Abner Hayes. He played for, went to North Texas State and played for the Dallas Texans, Kansas City Chiefs from 60 to 64, and the Broncos, the Dolphins, and the Jets for 1 season. AFL Most Valuable Player, won a championship in 62 with the Texans, Rookie of the Year. Wow. Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame, number 28 retired. North Texas Mean Green, number 28 retired. He had over 4,600 yards rushing, 46 touchdowns, 3,500 yards receiving, 20 touchdowns, and 2 return touchdowns. And he passed, he's still alive in Denton, Texas. I should find him and talk to him. Okay, today's trivia question. What did Adolis Garcia did something that had never been done before in a postseason game yesterday? What did Adolis Garcia do yesterday that never been done in postseason history? So, Alexia, thanks for today. Josh, Michigan. Treetop, thanks for all the good stuff. Broccoli Rob, you're great at picking picks. We're going to have on Mr. Met later. Gumbo Chef, always. Fantasy football. Deontay Foreman, thank you so much. Send my love to my mom, Mrs. S, Michigan. Carol and Carol. I'm going to the doctor. I don't feel good. All right. I'm going. Adios, everybody. Peace out.